let's take a look at the oldest print of Harry Johnson's. Come on, Anders, come on, let's get it together. Harry Johnson. I can't get over it. I am a 46-year-old man.
The cozy gnome would drink this. Maybe.
Today we are making the Blackthorn. What a great name for a cocktail, by the way. Blackthorn, right? The problem is there are at least 5 completely different recipes called the Blackthorn. I narrowed it down to 2 that I would call the OG Blackthorns. One is whiskey based, one is sloe gin based. I'm gonna show you how to make both of them. And today we are gonna decide if one of them is more deserving of the name Blackthorn, or if it even matters. Or I just like seeing cocktails fight. So stick around to the bar. So to dig in deep, we just simply have to look up the first recipe of the Blackthorn. And that is found in the Bartender's Manual written by Harry Johnson. That's right, his name was Harry Johnson. I would like you to please hold your laughter till the end. Harry Johnson was the first person to print a recipe for a Blackthorn. Blackthorn, 2 words, black space thorn. 3 or 4 dashes of absinthe, 3 or 4 dashes of bitters, Boker's Genuine only, half wine glass French vermouth, half wine glass Irish whiskey, stir up well with a spoon, strain into a medium-sized wine glass and serve. Actually, that is pretty close to the most popular version of the Blackthorn. 1900, there it is, boom, open and shut, we solved the mystery. But here's the deal, in 1908, this book came out. This book that kind of looks like a circus program. This is called The World's Drinks and How to Mix Them, written by William Cocktail Boothby. I imagine this is Cocktail Boothby right here. He doesn't look too happy. Yeah, this was 8 years after Harry Johnson did his Blackthorn. This time, Blackthorn is 1 word. And he does not take credit himself. He credits somebody named William Smith, who was, I guess, a bartender at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel in Honolulu. So I went and I looked up the Royal Hawaiian Hotel in Honolulu, and it said that it first opened in 1927, nearly 20 years after this book came out. There must have been a different Royal Hawaiian Hotel. I don't know. I stopped digging at that point. Mr. Cocktail Boothby writes, into a mixing glass of cracked ice, pour a jiggerful of equal parts of French vermouth, Italian vermouth, and sloe gin. Add a flavor of orange bitters and a drop or 2 of Angostura bitters. Stir until very cold. Strain into a stem cocktail glass. Squeeze a piece of lemon peel over the top and smile. There is no Irish whiskey in this drink. There's no absinthe. This is a completely different cocktail. But the name Blackthorn, 1 word. Sloe berries, also called sloes, grow on a bush called the Blackthorn bush. That makes a lot of sense, right? You're calling it the Blackthorn, it features sloe gin. By the time you get into the 1920s and the 1930s, everybody just kind of like lumps them together. In fact, I wasn't gonna show you this, but there's another cocktail book from 1922 called Cocktails, How to Mix Them, written by Robert. Just says Robert. In here, he's got the Blackthorn, 1 word, and he has Harry Johnson's recipe, even like says recipe by Harry Johnson of New Orleans, and right below it goes on to list Cocktail Boothby's recipe of San Francisco. So already there's some confusion as to which one it is. I guess you could have both, everything like that. Then let's fast forward a little bit more to the 1940s. I have this book, which is a rare book, out of print, but it's the 1947 edition of Trader Vic's Bartender's Guide. In it, we have a number of Blackthorn cocktails. Blackthorn Cocktail 1, Blackthorn Cocktail 2, and you think, oh, okay, well, at least now they're giving it numbers. But then I kept looking in the book, and a few pages, or like halfway through the book later, you got Blackthorn Cocktail number 1, Blackthorn Cocktail 2, and they're completely different recipes. So I feel like at this point, the whole Blackthorn cocktail mess really started to take place. I'm gonna go ahead and blame Trader Vic. The guy was silly. After that, I think most bartenders weren't making Blackthorns because, you know, you had vodka and gin take off, and then you had Appletinis and Cosmopolitans. But then, in 2003, a book came out called The Joy of Mixology by Gary Regan. You may have heard of it. It was very influential at the time, and this was as the whole cocktail renaissance was happening. And in the book, he has, you guessed it, a Blackthorn. He says it's adapted from a recipe in Harry Craddock's The Savoy Cocktail Book, which we didn't even talk about Harry Craddock, but I did look up that recipe and it is the same as Harry Johnson's. Here, Gary Regan bumps up the whiskey and makes it more of a Manhattan ratio because he had it in this book. I think this is why a lot of bartenders today that are familiar with the Blackthorn make it with Irish whiskey. But I personally really like the link between the Blackthorn bush and the sloe gin, I don't know, and the sloe berries. And I just think that we need to make both of them right now. So now the booze. Harry Johnson and Mr. Cocktails Berries. Let's do it. First, we're gonna make the Irish whiskey-based Blackthorn, the Black Space Thorn, or Irish Blackthorn. For that, we will need Irish whiskey, Blanc vermouth, absinthe, and Boker's bitters. So the Irish whiskey is the base. I am using Redbreast 12 year. Some of you might be saying, Anders, you shouldn't use a nice whiskey in a cocktail. That's blasphemy. Well then, I guess I'm going to hell. But I am a 46-year-old man. I know I look like I'm 29. And it's my whiskey, I do with it what I want. I don't let other people tell me what to do with it. I don't know who I was just there, but also it just genuinely makes a better cocktail than other Irish whiskeys I was working with. Could have gone with the 15 year, but I chose not to. Chew on that. The original recipe called for French vermouth, which is dry vermouth, but I believe the Blanc vermouth is probably more historically accurate to what French vermouth was back then, but don't quote me. Absinthe is just gonna be a couple dashes in there. Boker's bitters used to be huge in cocktails. It was bigger than Angostura bitters, but then it disappeared. But we know that one of the main flavors was cardamom. So if you have cardamom bitters, that's gonna be great in this drink. Oh, and I'm gonna express some lemon oil across the top. With that, let's build round one. I'm basically keeping the original specs pretty much the same. So I'm gonna go equal parts whiskey to vermouth. A fine whiskey. In a mixing glass, start with 1.5 ounces of Irish whiskey, then 1.5 ounces of Blanc vermouth, 2 full dashes of absinthe, and 3 full dashes of your Boker style bitters. Go ahead and add ice and stir. You know, every time I make a drink like this with just a couple dashes of absinthe, as soon as you add the ice and stir, that's the first thing you smell. And strain your cocktail into the chilled cocktail glass. Only thing left now to do is to express some lemon oil across the top. We're gonna clean this up and garnish with the peel, just the usual. Drop it on your cocktail. There it is. Ladies and germs, Harry Johnson's Blackthorn. Number 1, Irish Blackthorn. Cheers. While it's fresh, I'm gonna take a little sip here, and then we'll move on to the other Blackthorn cocktail. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. The absinthe you get kind of at the end. It's really, it is kind of like similar to if you were to have like a dry Manhattan. It's a little light. That Irish whiskey is really soft. There's a creaminess to the Blanc vermouth. And the Boker style bitters is subtle, but it's there. To me, it almost has like a root beer flavor, which is really good with the absinthe. So overall, great drink. Is this the ultimate Blackthorn? I don't know. We gotta try the next one. For this cocktail, you will need sloe gin, sweet vermouth, Blanc vermouth or dry vermouth, orange bitters, and Angostura bitters. The sloe gin is the base. This is a gin-based liqueur, so it's gonna be a little bit lower proof than, say, whiskey. So it's gonna be a bit more sessionable. The sweet vermouth, I'm going with, my usual is the Cocchi Vermouth de Torino, which is a little bit richer. I tried this drink with the richer vermouth, and I like a lighter sweet vermouth. If you just have the richer Cocchi Vermouth de Torino or Carpano Antica, then I would say maybe cut back a little bit. Orange bitters, Angostura bitters, boom, there it is. All right, so let's build. Let's start with the sloe gin. 3/4 ounce into the mixing glass. 3/4 ounce of sweet vermouth. 3/4 ounce of Blanc vermouth. 2 full dashes of orange bitters and 1 full dash of Angostura bitters. Add ice and stir. If you were to add up all of the seconds and minutes and hours of my entire life that I've spent stirring cocktails, I wonder how much of my life I've been stirring cocktails. When I die, maybe there will be some figure there that says, Anders, you led a great life, but you spent 14 years stirring cocktails. Do you really think you took full advantage of your time? And I will say yes, because I've had some good drinks. Check out this glass. This is what I'm using for this cocktail. I'm gonna tell you why in just a moment, but first let's pour it. Strain your cocktail into your chilled cocktail glass. All right, and then once again, we're going to express some lemon oil across the top, hit the sides, discard, and there we have Mr. Cocktail Boothby's Blackthorn. The Blackthorn number 2. Cheers, Boothby. Cocktail Boothby. Oh, it smells really good. That's really good. I like that a lot. I'm learning. I really like sloe gin, actually. Never really used it so much in the past until I started doing these sloe gin cocktails on the channel, and I gotta say, it's pretty tasty. It has a nice tartness to it as well as a sweetness. 2 very different cocktails, Blackthorn and Blackthorn. I just want to point out why I chose the glassware I did. This one is very angular, very thorny, if you know what I'm saying, because it's Blackthorn. And this one is, you know, round. It's like a little sloe berry. If you use your imagination, this resembles a berry. Oz, can I offer you a sip?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah?
That's good.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a butteriness to it that I like. You know, I think that is because I used a fine whiskey. How about this one? The number 2.
Ooh, like a cozy gnome would drink this. Maybe.
Ah, okay. There you heard. Everybody hear that? A cozy gnome would drink this. That to me is high praise. A cozy gnome, not a cold gnome, a gnome that is actually feeling cozy. So it's not really a comparison. I mean, we are comparing them, but it's apples and oranges, or you know, whiskey and sloe berries, wheat and sloe berries. Know what I'm saying? So it's 2 completely different animals. Both of these are rooted in history. They have been called the Blackthorn for a long while. The one that I am most surprised by is the sloe gin version, the number 2. I really do like it. I think it balances out. It's all equal parts, so I like that aspect of it. It's very simple, but I gotta say, this Blackthorn number 1, whatever it is we call it, Blackthorn, is very, very good as well. I gotta say, I do think that the Blanc Vermouth was the right call on my part, so good bartending honors. If you need any of these bottles, check out House of Bitter Bear, powered by Curiata, curated by me, and catered to the recipes here on the channel. And do check us out over on Patreon, where we make exclusive after-hours contents and sneak peeks. Hey gang, we don't know what's gonna happen. Quick update. Oh, grab your grenadine, grab your falernum, all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.